Hello Sagittarius, this is your November predictions for anyone who have their Ascendant, Sun or Moon in Sagittarius. And why I always advise you to check your Ascendant sign and your Moon sign if you want to see real in-depth astrology, because the Sun sign is the most general one and often it gives you much more general prediction, while the Sun and the Moon and Ascendant sign give you more specific personal prediction and events that really happen. And if you don't know your Ascendant sign and Moon sign, you can find them at my birth chart calculator, for which I'm putting link on my website astrolada.com. Below the chart there is a table. It shows you all the different signs and degrees and where the Ascendant, Sun and Moon is. So what is happening in November for you Sagittarius? First of all, there is an eclipse happening, eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, the sign next to you, which means that a lot of people, Sagittarius Sun people, might often have their Venus very possibly in the sign of Scorpio. Maybe not all of you, but maybe 1/3 of you. So check in the birth chart calculator. If you have Venus, the planet of love, in Scorpio, you'll see it. It says Venus and Scorpio opposite. And check if this Venus is particularly from around 7-8 degrees in Scorpio to around 15 degrees in Scorpio, 1-5, so 7 to about 15 degrees. And particularly if your Venus is at around the 11th degree of Scorpio, because then the eclipse will fall on your love life, which means that you might have some big changes and ups and downs and total reversal of events in your love life. Maybe you break up with someone. Fated events happen when actually eclipses happen. And if it happens on your Venus, if it's in Scorpio, those degrees, then very likely something will change in a big way in your relationships, and the culmination will happen where you can meet someone new, someone who is fated for you, someone who is supposed to change your love life in a big way. Anyway, but otherwise, for all your other Sagittarius, if it's your Ascendant, Sun or Moon, the eclipse is happening in your 12th house, basically in the 12th sign from Sagittarius. So it's kind of it's connected to the emotional world, to the emotional, your inner emotions, the 12th house. So basically there will be a lot of focus. Whenever an eclipse happens, it goes for your focus, and it's happening in your subconscious world actually. So some of you might be feeling more worried than other times. They might be feeling, even for no reason, they might not even be aware why, because the 12th house is a hidden house. So some of you might just feel this tension and worry and apprehension, and they might not know why they're feeling it. And it's because this eclipse is kind of stirring up some past life memories. 12th house rules the past lives, memories which are hidden even from us, the subconscious, the deep recesses of your soul, so to speak, and the invisible world. So your dreamlands, actually your dreams and your sleep is 12th house as well, influenced by the 12th house. And eclipse there, some of you might be having nightmares, or some of you might be having some really important or vivid dreams happening that are kind of disconcerting as well. Or some of you, even the eclipse can trigger some communications with disembodied spirits. It's not going to happen for all of you, but for some of you, especially Moon in Sagittarius or Ascendant in Sagittarius, they might have some message from the beyond, or some kind of communication with the invisible worlds happening, which might be a bit more frightening, because the planets that trigger it are difficult, more the eclipse there kind of hides the light, so it might be a bit more astral influences which are not so well predisposed, but it can be a big unlocking period, the eclipse, because the eclipse always triggers something in a big way for your subconscious skill, for your subconscious senses, from your sixth senses. Though you can have a presentiment about something, and you can get a message from a long past dead relative, but this is for the more psychic ones of you anyway. And for the more materially focused ones of you, 12th house is the house of expenses. So the eclipses, they like to bring us some sudden unexpected things. So you might have an unexpected expense that comes to you, something that you didn't think about, you have to spend a bit more than you expected. And usually eclipses like to do things in a big way, so something not trivial, not like that you forgot to pay a water bill and it's coming to you. It can be a little bit larger, something unforeseen. And 12th house is the house of giving as well, so you might have to give more of your time, or whether it's your resources or your efforts or your emotional support to another. So it is a good way to appease the gods, the planets, basically, by actually working with the energy. So go and give to someone, go and give from yourself, otherwise it might be taken from you by force. And 12th house is the house of letting go. It's the last house before a new beginning. And when so many planets trigger it, like Saturn, like an eclipse, maybe for a while you could not let go of something, because Saturn has been in 12th house for a year now, almost a year. So maybe you've been trying to let go of something, but you didn't have the courage, or you didn't have the I don't know, power to do it. And now with the eclipse day, it can trigger this detachment. Finally, it can trigger you finally getting rid of something that you had fears and that you were not sure you could let go of. So now is the time to, you know, anything you've been hanging on to, any fears it can be, and or unhealthy situations in your life, to release them as well. And also, I would advise you be careful traveling in foreign countries far away, because 12th house rules all those foreign places that we go to escape reality, to escape our daily humdrum. And those places can be a little bit more unpredictable, especially the first week of November, the last week of October, the first 2 weeks, but the whole November, if possible. Such trips, be more aware, be more cautious, because eclipses, they can create certain unexpected things happening. And the 12th house rules meditation and our ability to escape reality in healthy ways. And with the eclipse there and another difficult planet, Saturn, you might be inclined to try to escape reality in less healthy ways this month, like through drinking, through drugging, through extramarital affairs, you know, something that takes you out of your head and puts you in a more different state of mind. Usually the healthy ways are through music, through art, through television reading, you know, through meditation. And but those difficult plans might incline you to a little bit more difficult, more unhealthy escapism tendencies. And if you can transfer them, if you can in some way make them healthy, if you can consciously make yourself any worries and fears that these planets turn now in your subconscious, instead of trying to escape them in an unhealthy way, to cultivate, to try and transform them through more spiritual ways, through music, maybe through some meditation, through sauna, through spa, through massages, through body work, energy work. There are hundreds of ways, through you know, yoga. There are hundreds of very healthy ways to do that. And you can, you know, for some of you it might be awakening to these more healthy ways to deal with the stresses of reality, to escape the humdrum of reality. It might be like a new, this eclipse always gets rid of something old and brings in something new. So for you it might be bringing in something new, which will new ways of coping with harsh reality and new ways of escaping realities. We all need to escape reality. We all need to liberate ourselves occasionally, you know, from, but try and do it the healthy way. And okay, let's see what else is happening. Sagittarius, for you. Okay, another house that continues the trend from October that is triggered for you is the 8th house, and again an emotional house. So there can be a lot of emotional healing for a lot of you, a lot of emotional release, because Jupiter is helping the 8th house there. And 12th house and 8th house that are triggered for you, Sagittarius, they're both deeply psychological, emotional houses about past pain and release and hidden things within you and hidden currents, emotional currents. 8th house is your fears, your worries that actually you're aware of. The 12th house are the fears and worries that you're not aware of, that are from past lives, maybe, you know, some and this eclipse can escalate such paranoid influences, can escalate these disconcerting emotional feeling that you don't even know what the reason is for, but it can also, because Jupiter is helping, this can be healed. Those kind of stressful emotional states can come to the surface. You can confront them, you can experience them, and you can release them. So traumatic experiences can be healed now. Pain, hurt from the past, it's great time for you, Sagittarius. Sagittarius moon, Sagittarius ascendant, least Sagittarius sun. But this is emotional time of releasing pain. So if you feel overly emotional, overly, like, you might feel like a roller coaster, one moment down, one moment up, you know, and you can have some inner emotional revelations as well, and moments of crisis as well. But accept it as a sort of healing process of your subconscious, of your soul. You know, so after that you'll feel much more peaceful within yourself. And the 8th house, on the material level, Jupiter there doing all those good things, continuing in October, in November, maybe December as well. You can receive money from people, from other people, not your own resources. You can be helped by others through others' resources. Maybe your partner will invest in something which pays back now, your partner gets better salary, or your lover buys you a flat, you know, or some friend of you gives you a present, or you get a loan from the bank, or you get some inheritance. It's very possible, especially if your ascendant is in Sagittarius. This is particularly true for Sagittarius ascendant people, that something can trigger finances and support, emotional and financial coming, and they having access to other people's resources. And ask for help now, it will be given. Even if you don't ask, it's still very likely that it will be given to you, and some money coming back to you, but not money that you worked for others, you know, others type of resources. And 8th house is intimacy, so intimacy between you and another can deepen. More trust, you can become more trusting right now. With your partner, for instance, they can, especially on the sexual level, this is something can really connect you deeper. Whew. Okay, let me take a breather. And Mars is in your 10th house. It continues. It started in October. It continues for you in the whole of November. And Mars is the planet of energy. Wherever it's passing, we get very active there. And so for some of you, it can be very busy time career-wise as well. So you won't be just solving psychological, emotional issues within you. You will be, those of you who want to get a lot of job done, they can be very active right now, especially if your sun or your Sagittarius or your ascendant is in Sagittarius. Because then Mars triggers the 10th house of worldly actions, and you'll be very much, you know, very much proactive there. You make things happen when it comes to your project goals, to your work, you know. You might feel a bit stressed because Mars is a very kind of can be aggressive energy, or can be tense energy as well. So you know, try not to ruffle people at work or people in your workplace, or try not to get too much tension connected to your career. But it can happen also. There can be some conflict with authority figures, like father figures, teachers, bosses, government authority figures, you know, managers. But overall, you can be very productive and very action-oriented and get a lot of things done when it comes to personal goals. Thank you. And by the way, yes, and by the way, all those planets in the 12th house, as I said, for most of Sagittarius people, there will be, as I said, a lot of influence on the inner, on the subconscious, and some of you might feel more like retreating into themselves. And later on, from the 20th of November, you'll start getting a flux of energy more and more, and those emotional states start subsiding because the planets are moving into your first house, which is much more conscious house, and you know what's happening, you know how to deal with those energies. But while most of the planets are triggering your 12th house at the end of October, most of November, you feel a bit more overly emotional. You will need time off. You need time off to take care. You'll become more sensitive, and to heal somehow you need more time within yourself to dig into your psychology and to analyze yourself, or maybe just do some resting meditative techniques or whatever that helps you relax. Thank you very much, Sagittarius.